Wild boars are capable of reaching speeds up to 30 miles per hour, making them a significant challenge for hunters, especially in rugged terrain such as Turkey's Taurus Mountains. The steep slopes and dense forest create a demanding environment where both speed and agility of the animals test even the most experienced teams. These animals are notorious for damaging crops and disrupting local ecosystems, creating an urgent need for wildlife management. Hunters must carefully plan and coordinate to minimize both risk and ecological impact while protecting farmland and local communities. At dawn, hunting teams move into position, surveying the terrain and preparing for a day in the field. Trained hounds are often released first to detect the presence of wild boars, following their scent through the underbrush. Once a target is located, hunters use rifles with precision aiming to safely neutralize individual animals, ensuring minimal risk to the surrounding area. Wild boars are highly reactive and can charge unexpectedly. Quick, accurate shots are essential to prevent further damage and maintain safety. When an animal is engaged, its companions often scatter into dense foliage, requiring hunters to remain vigilant and anticipate movement patterns. Strategic positioning allows teams to form effective perimeters, limiting the escape routes of the animals. Each encounter demands careful observation, patience, and timing to ensure that only the intended targets are affected. Once a wild boar is safely neutralized, the team continues to monitor the area for remaining animals. Coordinated efforts with hounds, multiple observation points, and clear communication are crucial to track and manage the herd. These methods help prevent future crop destruction and maintain a balance between wildlife populations and human habitation. In addition to ground operations, aerial support can be employed to locate herds and assess the extent of damage. Helicopters provide an overview of open fields and forest edges, allowing teams to track movement patterns and plan precise interventions. Once identified, ground teams move into position, while observers from above assist in directing actions to safely manage the herd. Each hunting operation serves multiple purposes: controlling population growth, reducing agricultural losses, and maintaining the safety of both wildlife and humans. Effective wildlife management in mountainous regions requires courage, skill, and coordination among teams, local authorities, and communities. By the end of the day, the coordinated efforts restore temporary balance to the affected land, reducing the risk of further damage and giving farmers and residents a chance to recover. Wild boars remain a persistent challenge, but strategic, humane, and professional hunting practices help mitigate their impact on the environment and local livelihoods. A herd of wild boars can move swiftly through forested areas, using the trees and undergrowth for cover. Coordinated aerial support allows hunters to track their movements effectively. Despite the animal's unpredictable changes in direction, experienced crews and marksmen can work together to neutralize each individual as it attempts to escape. The pursuit continues until all targets are accounted for, ensuring the safety of the surrounding fields. In open meadows, helicopters provide a vantage point for spotting traces of wild boars. As soon as an animal comes into view, teams coordinate quickly and efficiently, neutralizing the threat before it can flee. Once the aerial operation concludes, hunters move to challenging terrain such as the rugged Manisa Hills, where preparation and strategic positioning are critical. Teams arrive early, securing pre-assigned locations to maximize coverage. Hunting dogs play an essential role, detecting the presence of wild boars and signaling their location. When an animal attempts to escape, rapid, precise gunfire ensures the target is safely neutralized. Multiple hunters can engage simultaneously, taking down lead animals and preventing the herd from dispersing. Remaining animals often scatter into dense brush, requiring hunters to track and respond swiftly. Continued vigilance allows for the elimination of additional threats, temporarily restoring peace to the land. Wild boars pose a significant challenge to farmers and local communities. Their sharp tusks and aggressive behavior can devastate crops, destroy farmland, and cause substantial economic losses. They move fearlessly through fields and forests, creating ongoing hazards for both humans and livestock. Effective management requires careful coordination, skillful marksmanship, and strategic use of both ground and aerial support. Hunting operations typically begin early in the morning, with teams moving quickly to pre-assigned positions in post-harvest fields. Observation tools, such as binoculars and trained hounds, enable hunters to detect and track wild boars that may be foraging or attempting to flee. Precision and timing are crucial. Rapid, accurate gunfire neutralizes the animals before they can escape, minimizing further damage. Teams work in multiple directions, covering checkpoints and ambush positions to ensure no animal passes through the area undetected. Dense undergrowth and forested terrain provide natural cover for the animals, making quick, decisive action essential. Hunters assigned to key observation points track movements carefully, waiting for the right moment to take accurate shots. Even a momentary hesitation can allow a boar to vanish into the thicket, emphasizing the importance of coordination, experience, and focus. Through these methods, wild boar populations are managed, agricultural losses are reduced, and the balance between wildlife and human activity is maintained. Each encounter highlights the challenges and strategies involved in mitigating the impact of these persistent and highly adaptable animals. In another section of the forest, a marksman identified a wild boar moving through a clearing. As the animal lumbered between the bushes, a precise, well-timed shot brought it down instantly. Simultaneous gunfire from other positions indicated additional successes, as each corner of the forest saw another animal neutralized. These efforts prevented further damage to nearby villages and farmlands, reducing the threat posed by these highly destructive and cunning creatures. Wild boars possess remarkable strength and the ability to disappear into dense terrain, creating an ever-present risk for anyone entering their habitat. Effective hunting requires both skill and strategic planning, as the balance between human safety and wildlife management can be precarious. At dawn, in a mist-covered forest, the air carried the scent of previous conflicts. Over time, wild boar populations in this area had grown unchecked, becoming more aggressive and destructive. Hunting teams worked systematically to reduce these numbers, employing vehicles, hounds, and precise observation from elevated positions. From these vantage points, hunters could monitor the movement of animals, focusing on the largest and most threatening individuals. A particularly massive boar, weighing over 500 pounds, foraged through the brush, unaware of the observers. When the animal sensed the presence of the hunters and attempted to flee, a clean shot brought it down. The rest of the team moved to their assigned posts, securing the surrounding area. In narrow forest trails, hunters carefully scanned undergrowth and animal tracks. Sudden rustling often indicated the presence of another boar, which could charge unpredictably through the terrain. Teams coordinated closely, using gunfire to halt any attempts at escape. These methods allowed hunters to systematically reclaim areas previously devastated by the animals, reducing damage and ensuring safer conditions for local residents. Operations extended to other challenging regions, including mountainous terrain with harsh weather conditions. In areas where snow and wind created difficult visibility, hunters had to act quickly before the landscape became impassable. Even in freezing conditions, precise observation and rapid, controlled shots allowed teams to neutralize wild boars efficiently. Each successful engagement restored portions of the land to safety, protecting both agriculture and local communities from further destruction. The combination of tracking skills, strategic positioning, and accurate shooting is essential in managing wild boar populations and maintaining a balance between human activity and wildlife habitats.